Step into the ring as we pit two titans of Disney hospitality against each other in an epic showdown. The timeless elegance of the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa versus the marvel that is the Contemporary Resort. Which will come out on top? From the storied history of the Contemporary and its iconic A-frame construction to the luxurious decor and dining of the Grand Floridian, let's discover together what makes each of these resorts the most coveted deluxe stays in all of Walt Disney World. Hey Seekers, Tisha here. As far as deluxe resorts are concerned, there aren't many better options than either the Grand Floridian or the Contemporary Resort. Both of these resorts are conveniently located near lake access. They are very close to Magic Kingdom, and they both have access to the monorail and the ferry boat. But are these resorts actually equals? I'll tell you up front that the Grand Floridian is more expensive than the Contemporary. At least some of the time it is, but not all the time. I'll explain this a little later. First, let's take a journey together into the heart of both of these classic resorts. One of the things that's so unique about Disney World is that even their transportation systems often feels like an attraction. Whether you're hopping on the Skyliner, monorail, a ferry boat, or even the bus, it's your first and last ride of the day. And it's also really fun. Okay, so the bus isn't all that much fun, but all the other transportation systems are pretty great. So, what transportation options are available at the Contemporary Resort? Your options to get to Magic Kingdom are the monorail. The resort monorail runs in a continuous loop around Bay Lake in a clockwise direction. The stops are, in order, Transportation and Ticket Center, to the Polynesian Resort, the Grand Floridian Resort, Magic Kingdom, and the Contemporary Resort. There's also the Magic Kingdom Express line that runs from the Transportation and Ticket Center, or the TTC, to Magic Kingdom. So, if you're staying at the Contemporary Resort and you're headed to Magic Kingdom, you'll have a few stops before getting to the park. The stops shouldn't take that long, and it's kind of a rite of passage to take the monorail while at Disney World, especially when that monorail literally runs right through your resort. I mean, how fun is that? However, coming back to Magic Kingdom, your stop will be the first one on the resort line, which is nice after a long day at Magic Kingdom. If you don't want to wait for the monorail and wait for a few stops along the way, you can always take the pedestrian walkway from the Contemporary Resort to Magic Kingdom. It's not that far of a walk, approximately 10 minutes, and it's a pretty relaxing stroll when it's not in the dead heat of summer and 300 degrees outside. There's also the Epcot monorail that runs from the Transportation Ticket Center, the TTC, and Epcot. If this is your park of the day, I would allow at least 30 minutes for taking this route to Epcot. If you're headed to either Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, taking the bus will most likely be your best option from the Contemporary Resort. Ugh, yuck. If you haven't noticed already, I don't love the buses. I do know people who Lyft or Uber to both of these parks if they're staying at the Contemporary. However, I haven't done that quite yet. I don't know if I will or not. If you hate the bus system just like me, smash that subscribe button at the bottom to let me know. The monorail is a little bit more convenient when heading to Magic Kingdom from the Grand Floridian. It will be your first stop. However, it's less convenient when coming back from the park or if you're headed to Epcot from the Transportation and Ticket Center. But it's still better than, can you guess what I'm about to say? Yes, the bus. There is also a pedestrian walkway from the Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom. However, with the construction happening at the resort, it's temporarily closed, so don't expect to take that until the new buildings are completed there. There is also the option to take the ferry boat from the Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom, which is a really fun ride over to the park. Although, be careful, the ferry boat lines can get quite long sometimes, so be sure to plan accordingly. When heading to Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, you'll be stuck with those dang buses. Alright, let's move on to one of my favorite activities at Disney, eating. Most people spend most of their time eating at the parks, but don't sleep on resort dining. In fact, some of the best dining to be had is actually at the resorts. The Grand Floridian has an excellent selection of dining options, from your basic Grand Floridian cafe serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner to bar and grill style dining. And not to mention the culinary crown jewel in all of Walt Disney World, the elegant and upscale fine dining at Victoria and Albert's. Also, let's not forget the recently reopened infamous 1900 Park Fair. This restaurant boasts a fantastic buffet while you get to interact with different characters such as Aladdin, Cinderella, Maribel, and Princess Diana. With all these options, you can spend an entire day exploring the Victorian grounds and dining at the Grand Floridian on a resort day. If you've chosen the Contemporary as your resort of choice, you'll have great dining options there as well. From the casual dining at the Contempo Cafe, plus Chef Mickey's, where you'll be able to dine in a bright and happy space in a character dining setting, and you'll even find some upscale eateries there, such as Steakhouse 71 and California Grill. There's also an event called the Celebration at the Top, where you'll get to experience Magic Kingdom's Happily Ever After fireworks show with delightful hors d'oeuvres and libations to set the mood. This will cost you around $130 per person, but it's a one-of-a-kind experience. Don't skip out on dining at these resorts. If food is an attraction to you on your Disney trip, then take the time at your resort to try out some of these delightful restaurants. So as far as convenience goes for the Contemporary Resort, here are a few pros. It's on the monorail path to both the Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and it's on the bus route to all parks. It's a 10-minute walk to Magic Kingdom on the pedestrian walkway. There are amazing restaurants all over the resort, so you won't have to go too far to find some great food. Coming back from Magic Kingdom, it's the first stop off the monorail on the resort line. And if you're staying in the main building, it will only be a short elevator ride up to your room. Here are a few cons. If you're staying at the Bay Lake Tower or the South Garden Wing, it will be less convenient to take the monorail or the bus, as it's further away from the main building. Some people complain about kids always running up and down the halls at this resort, especially during times like spring break. However, I've never experienced this at any of the resorts at Disney before. The Grand Floridian is actually undergoing renovations at the time of making this video, so there will be some construction noises during the day at the resort. If you're planning on sleeping in or having a resort day, please take this into consideration while you stay there. The pedestrian walkway is also close to Magic Kingdom, so that's an inconvenience to some. With that said, the monorail takes you to Magic Kingdom as the very first stop. You can also elect to take the ferry boat over to Magic Kingdom, which is fun and convenient. All the dining and eating options at the Grand Floridian are amazing. There will always be something to your liking available to you here. Being the oldest resort at Walt Disney World, the Contemporary ironically boasts a modern and, as the name suggests, contemporary vibe. Its A-frame construction and monorail access that runs right through the heart of the resort makes the Contemporary a visual landmark resort at Disney World. The recent renovation at the Contemporary Resort, including updating the rooms to the theming of The Incredibles. There are observation decks to watch the monorail go by and to watch the Happily Ever After fireworks show at Magic Kingdom every night. Staying at the Contemporary, you feel a part of Disney World's history because you're staying at the first resort since Disney opened in 1971. With killer views all around you looking over the park on one side or the lake on the other, this is a visually appealing resort option both on the inside and looking out. The Grand Floridian sets a bit in contrast with the Contemporary vibe, with its old, classy, Victorian style themed and upscale charm. It's visually breathtaking with its decor and classic elegance that will make you wish you were a part of that bygone era. When you're hanging in the lounge in the main building with the massive chandeliers suspended above you, the soothing classical music playing, and the Victorian ambiance surrounding you, it instantly transports you and makes you feel far from home in all the best ways. The Grand Floridian opened in 1988 and opened as the Grand Floridian Beach Resort. It contains 867 rooms in 6 different buildings. It's also designated as a deluxe resort and is considered Disney World's flagship resort. There is also a relaxing sandy beach access area that you can lounge around at and listen to the waves from the lake roll in. This resort is definitely geared towards older guests, in my opinion. As someone with kids, I don't think they would appreciate the extravagance of this resort as much as I do. However, it is a beautiful and stunning place to stay no matter how old you are. The Contemporary has no shortage of amenities and recreation. The main pool is huge and it has a 17-foot water slide for those adventurous guests. There are futuristic fountains and water spouts for the kiddos. There are often fun, family-friendly activities at this pool, ranging from fun themed pool parties and games and relays, trivia, and more. There is also Bay Cove Pool at the Bay Lake Tower with its own water slide. And for the grown-ups, the nearby Bay Lake Pool is an all-ages luxury pool where loud noises are gently discouraged. There is also a nearby sand beach area with a volleyball court. If you're up for some old-fashioned fun, as the sun goes down, get your campfire on and roast some marshmallows at the Country Yard Campfire Fire Pit every evening at 8:30. Or, if you're more of a movie kind of family, enjoy a movie night under the stars every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 8:30 p.m. There's also a host of other activities at the Contemporary, like the Game Station Arcade on the 4th floor, basketball courts, cabana rentals, fishing, motorized boat rentals, volleyball, tennis, jogging trails, fitness center. Oh, you name it, they have it. You literally could spend a full day of activities just at the resort. In fact, many people plan a resort day just to chill. I also love a good relaxing resort day myself. At the Grand Floridian, there are two main pools. The beach pool is a massive 11,261 gallon that overlooks the Seven Seas Lagoon. It also features an exciting 181-foot-long water slide that boasts a natural spring-themed setting with the cascading waterfalls and a zero-depth entry. There is also an aquatic play area just for the little ones. The Courtyard Pool is a more leisurely pool experience, conveniently located right behind the main building. This is your pool for a more calm and peaceful experience. And it's also heated, which can be nice. The Courtyard Pool gets to be about 5 feet deep and also has a nearby whirlpool spa. Pools aren't the only amenities and recreation at the Grand Floridian, not by a long shot. Not only do they have the same campfire and movie under the stars as the Contemporary, they also have the Grand Floridian Spa, where you can get pampered after a long day of walking at the parks or set sail on a specialty cruise on the Seven Seas Lagoon or Bay Lake. You can also take a nighttime water paddle to see the electrical water pageant. You also have your standard basketball courts, arcade game room, and a health club as well for guests to enjoy. Okay, we're about to get to the knockout round here, folks. So, what's the cost of staying at either of these resorts? The Grand Floridian is in fact more expensive than the Contemporary. At least that is true some of the time, but that's not always the case. I've priced out a trip for the same dates in September. This is one of my favorite times, going to Disney and be in the parks with the food and wine festival going on, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and the crowds are typically a little better overall. Let's break down the price of just the resort rooms. For a 6-night stay in September using the Disney online reservation, the Contemporary Resort comes out to $372 for a standard garden wing resort view, or $573 for a main tower theme park view. The price can fluctuate depending on days you go, how long you stay, and other factors. For the Grand Floridian, a standard resort view room comes out to be $528 and goes up from there depending on your room selection and view. Now, for getting a deal and discount, here are a few tips and tricks that you can use while booking your next Disney vacation. Sometimes when booking a garden view room at the Contemporary, you'll get offered an upgrade room to stay at the Grand Floridian. If this happens to you, it's likely that they have overbooked to the Contemporary. I think it would be wise to accept this offer, as it could mean one of two things. One, the Contemporary Resort is going to be very crowded while you're there, possibly kids running around and lots of people coming in late at night. 2, some people have reported showing up at the Contemporary and that they were not happy with the noise level and crowds that they asked to be transferred in the middle of their stay. Since it was a last-minute transfer, there were no upgrade options. They wish that they had taken the upgrade offer before arriving to save the trouble of moving resorts and not having a great experience the first couple of nights. Another way to get a massive discount is to buy someone's Disney Vacation Club points. Yes, this is legal to do, and there are companies dedicated to brokering the points from DVC owners and selling them to guests like yourselves. You can often get up to 60% off normal rates using this method, and you even get the extra perks like early entry and after hours at the parks. The only downside is that you might have to be flexible with your dates and resorts that you'll be able to stay at, as there isn't always availability for the resort you want to go to or the dates you want to go. One last tip is to find a reputable, dedicated Disney planner to use. This is no extra cost to you when you use a Disney planner. It's actually already built into the price whether you use a planner or not. And the planner I use typically gets us a freebie, like a free memory maker when we book through her. So use a Disney planner and see what discounts and extra that they can get you. The winner. Okay, so it's round 12 and it's time to take someone down. Who's it gonna be? It's a close one, but the Contemporary Resort comes out on top in this fight. Here's why. The price is typically more in line with a guest budget. It's more kid-friendly than the Grand Floridian, and getting to ride the monorail right into the resort is just a fun experience. So, especially if you have never stayed at the Contemporary Resort, it's a must. With that said, if you book a room at the Contemporary Resort and you get an offer to upgrade to a room at the Grand Floridian, I suggest that you take them up on that upgrade. All right, Seekers, do you agree or disagree with the winners of this fight? Please let us know in the comments and tell us why. Until next time, Seekers, let's just keep seeking the magic together.